Hey homies, it's Kuro. You tired of your damage falling flatter than Donjon's chest? Try Brick It. Nothing gets a job done better than Brick It.
Make it fast.
You love damage, you hate not doing enough of it. How much damage? Enough to hit harder than your drunk dad.
Now that's a lot of damage!
No teammate for Changli? Brick It. How about Columbine? Brick It. Now fellas, I know some of y'all got that special problem, and I'm here to tell you, that ain't the only reason they call her Brick It. Released in version 1.1, Changli left her mark in Wuwa's meta and hasn't let up since. Due to her elevated skill ceiling, the interest in her value is, let's say, mixed. Some may be completely clueless, while others are dismissive of the depth in her playstyle. A few live off the adrenaline rush of her gameplay, and some were unfortunate enough to skip due to resources. Regardless of who you are, today you'll be leaving a seasoned Changli expert. Changli is a unit that currently holds a very special place within the meta of Wuthering Waves. She not only deals a very substantial amount of damage, but she's also capable of doing it within a fraction of the field time necessary from other units. Blink and you might miss it. The crux of her playstyle revolves around building 4 inflaming stacks, either through the use of basic attack 5, True Sight Conquest, True Sight Charge, or Intro. The keywords there are True Sight. This is a state that becomes available for 12 seconds after casting the initial part of a resonance skill, True Sight Capture, or Basic Attack 4. Great. Now that we have the stack, when and exactly how do we use it? While Basic Attack 4 is your primary way of getting into True Sight, Dodge Counter is more preferable because it starts you off on Basic Attack 3, reducing your commitment to just 2 hits to achieve True Sight. An additional benefit of accessing True Sight through your basics is the Umbrella Stand state. True Sight gained through the other methods actually don't have this state accessible, and it allows your off-field Changli to have an extended amount of field time before she's recalled. Now we get to the core mechanic, True Sight Capture. When Capture is used, you can observe her character model going airborne and descending following her peak. For this tip, we'll be paying attention to the full descent while we swap to a different character. Notice how her character model lingers for a while before being recalled? If you were to swap back to Changli while her model is still fielded, you will have full control over her as you left her. But if her model is recalled and you swap back late, when she re-enters, she'll automatically trigger True Sight Conquest. Cool, right? But why does this happen? Well, there's a few reasons actually. Let's start with scenario 1. When a unit is in active combat, if you were to swap to another unit, this makes the new unit automatically perform an attack if they weren't already on the field. Because True Sight is queued up as your next input, it automatically triggers the attack, which may or may not be a bad thing, depending on your intention. Scenario 2 can be used to create some powerful opening rotations on Changli. When a boss hasn't fully spawned, casting Resonance Skill will result in a recall immediately after the cast. However, if you were to land the cast and swap back to the character before they were recalled, you will retain full control of your character, and this trick can lead to an insane flurry of damage.
Congratulations!
You've learned a new trick. Now let's talk about a major potential pitfall that you might run into. I know I did. You see, when Changli casts True Sight Capture, her True Sight technically doesn't register until her character model has peaked and taken the position for descent. If you were to cast Resonance Liberation prior to this point, however, you'll end up robbing yourself of that storable stack, so be careful not to mistime the input. One of my major hurdles for learning Changli starting out was having control over my character when swapping. You may have noticed this also, but because Changli's resonance skill ascending happens so quickly, it can leave the swapped-in character performing a plunge attack. The good news is yes, this is a mistake, so it can be avoided. The bad news is it takes a lot of practice and mastery of swift inputs. Despite being tip 3, this will likely make or break your Changli experience if not performed correctly. With Tripartite Flames having a 2-part activation and 2 stacks, we get 4 total moments to deal a significant amount of damage with Changli without ever really having to field her. 6 if you include the later Forte cast, which also make for great swappable moments. By practicing and capturing the feeling of True Sight Capture swap windows, you can effectively achieve maximum damage value on Changli for a minuscule amount of field time, allowing other swappable units who may require a moderate amount of field time to also hit their peak performance, like Calcharo, Carlotta, Zhang Liao, or even Jinshi. Another helpful tip comes through great management of the swap timer. Normally, repeatedly going back and forth between 2 units punishes you with a 1-second lockout. In slower swap setups, this is perfectly fine and a non-issue, but when trying to achieve maximum efficiency, it can prevent you from getting back to some of your units before they get recalled. A great solution to this seemingly small problem is to do a full rotation of characters before attempting to go back to the original. Because the swap isn't immediate, you won't have to suffer the penalty at all, and will get the benefit of even being able to build up resource on a 3rd unit prior to rotating back to the 1st. It's a seemingly small trick, but be sure to take advantage of its effects. Though the airborne state makes for a cool scene, many times it can leave you in an unfavorable position when swapping. We just discussed how to prevent going airborne, but how do we handle it when we have no choice? Changli's intro is no doubt one of her best tools. It does a respectable amount of damage while it also contributes to her true side stacks, which you'll be relying on for your forte use. It even buffs your team's attack on sequence 4. Despite this, it doesn't come without its own drawbacks. But no worries, as usual, we have a solution for this problem, and ironically it's tip 1. What makes it different though, is applying beating the recall timer aspect to your allies rather than Changli. Remember, the idea in tip 1 was learning how to differentiate between auto true sight and the manual true sight, which incidentally taught us how to access our fielded character without having to deal with the recall effect. If you were to take that same idea and apply it to a character with a long animation keeping them fielded, you can essentially use them as an escape route to reground yourself and escape Changli's unwanted airborne state. Amazing, right? This allows you to have more control over your characters and spend their resources and field time more accordingly. I often get asked the question, Kuro, is this character worth pulling? Depending on the person, I may have given the answer, oh dude, they're definitely great because they can do X. Or maybe not unless you're capable of doing Y. I've come to realize though, that's not a wholehearted enough answer. What I should have said to all those people, and what I'll say to you guys right now, is if you think they're fun, go for it. Changli's like Wuwa's Swiss Army knife. There's many teams she's capable of excelling at, to the point that you'll often find yourself struggling who to pair her with. She has amazing synergy with characters like Calcharo, able to weave in between his very tight death messengers. Her synergy with Zhang Liao is second to none, capable of overlapping some ridiculous burst windows and following up on each of his animations step for step. Her and Carlotta are just style incarnate, and can often output some blazingly fast combos. Even Jinshi gets her fair share of the cake with some ridiculously fast air combos leading to ridiculous burst windows that dominated the TOA top clears for a long time. You'd think it stopped right there, right? Even as a hyper carry, this resonator can easily crush any challenge Kuro puts in front of her with ease, under one condition: just play better. Changli is the manifestation of you reap what you sow. If you just want an easy character that has fun animations, she'll meet you there. But if you want some brutally fast gameplay that can justify your hours and dollars sunk into the game, then look no further. Honestly, I recommend each and every player get her, and if you struggle, keep trying. The point of a game is to be played, so if she can squeeze those extra hours out of you for a few resets to get better, then you've got your ass right there. That was a Changli guide with Kurotura, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.